Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Over the past few days, I've been reflecting upon my struggles with suicidal thoughts. And I wanted to try to get on paper, what does someone think about? What are their thoughts when they are struggling, when they are contemplating taking their own life? What goes on in their mind? And so I tried to get that down on paper as best as I could. And I wrote a poem, and so I'm gonna share it with you. The title of this poem is called Blood Bought. So let's read it. Some nights, suicide does not sound dramatic. It sounds practical, quiet, like finally shutting off a machine that has been screaming for years. People think suicidal thoughts always sound emotional, but sometimes they sound cold and logical. You ruin everything. You are too sick. You will relapse again. You are exhausting to love. You scare people. You are too broken to fix. Everyone would breathe easier without you. And the terrifying part is how convincing it can feel. I know that voice. I know schizophrenia whispering paranoia into my bones. I know addiction clawing at my throat at 2 a.m. I know depression sitting on my chest like a damn concrete block. I know what it feels like to sit in a room alone and honestly believe the world would improve if you disappeared from it. I know what it feels like to beg God for silence while your own mind becomes a war zone. And maybe that's why I need to say this plainly. If you are suicidal tonight, I understand the exhaustion. I understand why giving up can seem rational. I can understand why death can look like relief. But logical does not always mean true, because pain lies, mental illness lies, addiction lies, the devil lies, and hopelessness is a liar fluent in your own words. Nobody talks enough about the shame after another relapse, the shame after another psychotic episode, the shame of hearing voices, the shame of being too much, the shame of watching people slowly pull away from you. You start apologizing for existing. You stop texting people back because you are tired of pretending you are okay. You isolate. You disappear into your room. You stop eating right. Stop sleeping right. Stop caring. Then comes the thought, maybe everyone would heal easier if I was gone. That thought feels intelligent, responsible even, like you are doing the world a favor. That's the horrifying thing about suicidal thinking. It can disguise itself as mercy. I remember staring at ceilings wondering if God was disappointed in me. A schizophrenic addict trying to preach hope. What a joke. I thought I had become the kind of person heaven regretted creating. And maybe some people reading this understand that feeling exactly. You pray but still feel numb. You worship but still want to die. You love Jesus but still battle darkness. That contradiction can make you feel fake. But faith is not the absence of suffering. Faith is crawling toward God while bleeding. There are moments where the pain becomes physical. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts race. The future looks blacked out. You cannot imagine joy returning. People say it gets better. But when you are suicidal, your brain answers, no the fuck it doesn't. Because you've been waiting, praying, trying, surviving, and still waking up exhausted. Still hearing voices. Still fighting cravings. Still battling memories that rot your insides. Trauma rewires the brain into survival mode. You stop living. You just endure. Some people reading this have already planned their deaths in their heads. You know the place, the method, the timing. You have imagined who would find you. That is how real this fight becomes. And Christians don't talk about it enough because we are afraid of looking unholy. But some of God's children are hanging on by a thread. Some believers worship on Sunday while secretly wondering if they can survive until Monday. And if that is you, I need you to hear me carefully. You are not disgusting to God. You are not abandoned. You are not too far gone. Jesus is not afraid of your darkness. I used to think redemption was for clean people, for polished Christians with perfect language and matching smiles. Not people like me. Not addicts, not psychotic people, not men carrying childhood abuse like shattered glass in their ribs. I thought God tolerated me. I did not think he loved me. But then I realized something about Jesus. He keeps choosing broken people. Moses had anger. David was a mess. Peter denied Christ. Paul hunted Christians. The Bible is full of disasters being used by God. And then there's the cross. Jesus did not bleed for perfect people. He bled for addicts, for schizophrenics, for prostitutes, for liars, for men sitting alone with a gun in their mouth. He saw every ugly part of us and still climbed onto the cross willingly. That destroys me because it means his love was never based on my stability. The blood of Christ says you are worth dying for. Even at your lowest, even while suicidal, even while relapsing, even while doubting, especially then. Sometimes survival is not beautiful. Sometimes surviving looks like calling someone at 3 a.m. crying. Sometimes it looks like saying, I'm not okay. I think I might hurt myself. That sentence is terrifying. But honesty saves lives. The enemy wants isolation. Isolation feeds darkness. Darkness feeds lies. Lies feed death. I know men who thought asking for help made them weak. Now they're buried. And the heartbreaking thing is many of them did not truly want death. They wanted relief. There's a difference. Most suicidal people are not chasing death. They are trying to escape unbearable pain. Please understand that. You do not need to be fearless to stay alive tonight. You just need to survive this moment. Drink water, call someone, pray angry prayers, cry, go outside, throw the pills away, hand someone the weapon, wake somebody up. Do whatever keeps you here, because tomorrow might not fix everything. But it might contain a moment that reminds you why you stayed. A laugh, a sunrise, a prayer, a song, a person who needs your story. I used to think Jesus only existed in churches. Now I know he walks hospital hallways too. He sits beside trembling people in psychiatric wards. He stays in the room after everyone else leaves. He understands mental suffering more deeply than we realize. Scripture says he was a man of sorrows. He understands grief, rejection, agony, abandonment. Jesus knows what it feels like to sweat blood under pressure. And somehow that comforts me, because it means God is not distant from suffering. He entered it himself. I have screamed at God before. I have cried ugly tears in prayer. I have told him, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And somehow he stayed. That's grace. Not me being strong, him refusing to let go. Maybe you are exhausted from fighting your own mind. Maybe you are tired of pretending. Maybe you are one bad night away from giving up. Please stay. The world does not need a polished version of you. It needs the honest one, the survivor, the fighter, the person who crawled out of hell and still chose love. Listen to me. This world has convinced people that weakness makes them worthless. That is bullshit. Some of the strongest people alive are quietly fighting battles nobody sees. Getting out of bed can be courage. Taking medication can be courage. Going to therapy can be courage. Asking for help can be courage. And staying alive when your brain is screaming at you to die is one of the bravest things a human being can do. I know you feel tired. I know you feel like a burden. I know you feel permanently damaged. But feelings are not prophecy. Your story is not over yet. There are still people you haven't helped. Still prayers you haven't prayed. Still laughter you haven't heard. Still sunsets you haven't seen. Still love you haven't experienced. And maybe right now you cannot imagine a future. That's okay. You do not need to see the entire road. You only need enough strength for one more step, then another, then another. That is how survival works. Not in giant heroic moments, but in stubborn little decisions to remain. I used to think my scars disqualified me from being loved. Now I realize they are proof I survived. Jesus did not rescue me because I was clean. He rescued me while I was drowning. That's the gospel, not perfection, rescue. His blood says my failures are not final. My psychosis is not my identity. My addiction is not my ending. My suicidal thoughts are not my destiny. I belong to Christ. And if you belong, I belong to Christ. And if you belong to Him too, then hear this. You are blood bought, not abandoned, not forgotten, not disposable. The cross was the price tag placed on your soul. So tonight, before you give up, before you hurt yourself, before you believe the lie that nobody would care, please remember the man on the cross, the nails, the blood, the mercy. Jesus looked at broken humanity and decided we were worth saving. That includes you, especially you. So breathe again, cry if you need to, pray if you can, call somebody, stay alive tonight, because there is still purpose in your pain, and there is still a God who walks into darkness carrying light. So brothers and sisters, that is what I wrote when it came to suicidal thoughts. Though suicidal thoughts are something I struggle with on a daily basis, and I'm just being honest with you, as someone who's broken, imperfect, a sinner, someone who has made mistakes, someone who cries nightly because of all the stupid shit that I've done and the people I've hurt. So I hope this poem is relatable and it reaches any brother or sister who is struggling today. Just know that I love you so much, and you can reach out to me, and I'm here for you. So thank you guys. Thank you, brothers and sisters. God bless. Peace.